glad to be back. It's finally here. It's game week, so we're going to be talking about that a little bit for the Titans. So, really exciting that we actually have some meaningful football coming up this weekend. A couple of things that we did want to hit just off rip regarding the Titans. Had a couple of key people back this week at practice, and also some things that we've done in the market as well. I know DeAndre Hopkins is back at practice, looking good. Arden Key is back. I think I'm missing somebody too.
Jamal Adams.
Jamal Adams is back, so looking good there. And it doesn't look like he's set to start, but obviously he'll be rotational, and that's good that he's back at practice.
They also don't know if D Hop's going to play either. It's kind of precautionary with Adams and D Hop are both kind of if it goes well this week during practice, they'll keep it going. If not, then they'll just rest him till week 2 or something or later.
The other thing was picking up Ernest Jones in free agency, who eventually, it's a big W. Eventually, I think that's going to be probably your starter. I think, Gibbons is going to be the starter this week, but more so just because he knows the playbook, he's familiar with everything already. So that's kind of how that's going to go for this week. And then, he already said, Callahan said we're going to see him.
Yep.
So there's that, and I'm excited about it. I think he's a really downhill player. He's already been a green dot player, getting everybody lined up and everything. So we'll be able to. He'll get into the rotation quickly, I think. It's just a matter of getting playbook and everything. So he's only 24, and I feel like he was the value is there.
That was going to be my main point, is that he's so young,
Mm-hmm.
So it is the only unfortunate thing is he's going into his last year on his rookie contract. So we will have to pay him or let him walk after this year, which isn't the end of the world, especially for the value that we got him for. I definitely think that we could re-sign him.
Sure.
Basically we traded up Elijah. We basically traded Elijah Molden and then what was it, a 6th rounder to get Ernest Jones, not straight up, but we traded away Elijah Molden and then for a late round pick, and then we traded away a late round pick to get Ernest Jones. So, 3 words: thank you, Rand. Thank you, Amy. They've completely turned this organization around in what feels like one off season.
Yeah, I agree. It's crazy, the turnover. I was looking at a tweet about that the other day. The turnover that we have on the roster, it's a complete overhaul. This is a completely different team. You're looking at, you got Big Jeff, you got Harold, and Levis is back, but you can't even really throw Levis in that pile. He just got here last year. Malik's gone. Everybody from these draft classes that we've had up until this one and a little bit of last year's are gone.
Yeah. And I'm happy about it.
Exactly. And I had to rock the 22 tonight. This is one I can't get rid of, but hopefully he has a good game tomorrow night. I know a lot of people are on the fence about that. But it'll be, it's a little bit bittersweet. It's nice to watch Derrick Henry play again, but a little bit weird in a purple jersey. So, tomorrow night's going to be interesting with the Chiefs. But before we get into all that, because I know we want to do that, I want to talk about really what we're looking for this weekend. Man, it feels so good to finally have football back, and especially being a Notre Dame fan and you being a Tennessee fan. I know we had good weekends.
Good first week.
Drew, not so much. But Florida's got I think their strength of schedule is top 3 or top 5. Yeah, it's up there. So, it's a rough weekend, but it's back. And now a week later we have NFL back, and the Titans have to go to Chicago and go to a team that's just coming off of Hard Knocks, go to a team that's just coming off of drafting Caleb Williams and Roma Dunze. There's so much talent that they're starting to gather and kind of create a young core of talent. And look, we know what Caleb Williams can do. We don't know at what extent he's going to be able to do that immediately, but we already saw flashes in the preseason. So it's just there's definitely going to be a game plan for him, and the off-schedule plays that he makes, the the extending plays, the crazy throws that he's able to get downfield. And, it's going to be a problem. We're going to have to force him to stay in the pocket, and we're going to have to collapse the pocket. Like if you get too far in your rush lanes, he's just going to step up and run. Like you're going, it's Patrick Mahomes all over again. Like you don't want to say he's that good yet, but like as far as his intangibles and what he does, it's very Patrick Mahomes-like, and that's why he was first overall.
Yeah. So I'll be curious to see how he responds to the blitzes we're going to be throwing at him. Because I know he's very much an improviser. He can stand in the pocket. He can make some great throws. Like he's got a cannon. Mm-hmm. But like, what is it going to look like with the blitz packages we're sending at him?
Yeah.
What's it going to look like when there's not a ton of separation on the outside? Hopefully. Yeah. And like you said, he's a heck of a ball player. Look, people's problem with Caleb Williams is not that he doesn't have the talent. I mean, he was by far the most talented player in this last class.
Personality, honestly.
He's a princess. He's a diva. Yeah. Like I mean, he that's just straight up what he is. He's a princess. Princess Caleb. He's a rookie that's demanding certain contract deals and like you listen to his draft call, like he's very cocky. He is very cocky. But like he's talented. So like I guess it just comes with being that talented. But
yeah.
I don't know. I think he's a really solid player. I don't think he is going to be all there week 1, which is a good thing for us. I'm glad we're playing him week 1 and not week 9.
For sure, yeah.
That's for sure.
Before he gets comfortable, yeah.
Yeah.
Or more comfortable. I don't think he's necessarily going to come in with like jitters. He doesn't seem to quite be that kind of player. Once he's got a series under him, I think this game's going to come out and be close.
When you got weapons like that, man, it makes it super easy on the quarterback. That's what we did for Levis. We tried to get him some weapons. It makes it easier on your younger quarterback, which is what getting my expectation, or I guess like my expectations for the weekend is, one, I want to see everybody, stay healthy. Obviously, always number 1. 2, like I want to see how much Levis has progressed so far in this offense. I'm expecting it to be a little slow. I'm not expecting him to come out and throw dots. I'm expecting a little bit of a slow weekend or a slow game 1. I think we can put up a lot of points, or not a lot of points, but I think we can put up points. It'll just really come down to how much has Will Levis gotten comfortable. And I think that's what I'm looking for. That's the main thing I'm looking at. So.
Yeah, I think it's just to add on to that too. I think for the offense, it's also going to be like, yes, the biggest thing right now probably that we want to see is just like, where is Will Levis at? Yep. We've already seen kind of what maybe a little bit of what Callahan wants to do in our offense in the preseason with the starters out there, and it's looked really good. But just as far as seeing kind of everything at our disposal, seeing everybody healthy, everybody out there all together, D-Hop included, all that, it's just going to be interesting where Callahan goes with the play calling this weekend. And then also when you flip it over on defense, like, yes, I think you're going to see, it's hard to say whether he's going to use more or less, because I think Denard Wilson just blitzes, period. But you're definitely going to see a ton of blitzing a rookie quarterback. Like, you have to get him.
You got to attack him.
You do. You have to get into his head. You have to. That's what they're going to do. That's the game plan. We all know he's talented, but you can't let him get comfortable. Like, we know what it looks like when he gets comfortable. He won the Heisman for a reason.
Yep.
So, but again, I'm going to go back, and I'm a little biased, but I will look. Like, if you go back and look at the film of Notre Dame playing against him, like, they just showed him all kinds of stuff. They blitzed, and of course Notre Dame's got a good secondary, and he just looked out of sorts. It's not that doesn't mean he's a bad player. He had a bad game, but it's like, if you can do that, hate to break it to you, but welcome to the NFL, buddy. That's kind of what I hope we give him this weekend. So I want to see Big T Sweat making moves. It's interesting to see, like, who's going to get, like, obviously Jeff's going to get doubled more, but, like,
definitely,
how much does that help Arden? How much does that help Harold and Sweat? It's like, Lord, we better hope there's no way they're running on us. Like, there's no way they're running through our interior.
The only way is if we got linebackers out of position. That feels like the only way that they're going to be able to run
filling gaps. Yeah.
Best easy, just simple stuff like that. Like, which was a problem last year. So it's definitely maybe a concern for Titans fans. Are the linebackers going to be able to? That's why we invested in drafting Sweat. It's like Sweat's going to take a little bit of that pressure off the linebackers to make the reads and to fill the gaps. So I think Ernest Jones will eventually start. I think this week, like you said, it's going to be a lot of Kenneth Murray and Jack Gibbons, and we're going to get a little pinch of Ernest Jones, but eventually Jack Gibbons. I think we're going to rotate them a lot. I think that, like, we got like we're probably going to rotate all of our linebackers. Like we're going to see James Williams is going to be out there. I mean, if Otis Reese is probably going to get some snaps in there too. Like we're going to rotate a lot of people. So, we're trying to see what we got out there,
especially for week 1. I mean, like they are getting to the point where we're in better game shape, but you just can't be in game shape until you're playing games, until you're in full swing of the season. So, yeah, I definitely expect to see a lot of rotation in, I expect to see a good bit in secondary. I wouldn't want, Snead and Cheeto to just go out there and go every single play. Like, they haven't, they're getting reps this week, but they just haven't been getting live reps. So it's definitely something that I want to monitor. I don't want them on a snap count necessarily, but it's like we can't just jump right in there and just overdo it.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think it's definitely a great test, like week 1. You're looking at guys like Cheeto, Roger, Snead going up against, you got Odunze, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. Like, it's going to be really fun to watch the secondary play.
The best wide receiver trio in the league, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to get tested for sure. I mean, but I think we're going to test that Bears offense just as much too. We understand as Titans fans how good that Bears trio is.
Yeah.
But we got ourselves a nice little trio too. So I'll be interested to see kind of.
Well, it's interesting you say that. Place. We have a nice trio on defense to help guard those guys. If you flip it over, we got a nice trio on offense too.
They have a nice trio too as well. Like it's a really good.
Jalen Johnson's a beast.
Yeah, Kyler Gordon, the slot guy, is a monster.
Mm-hmm.
They had a rookie last year, Tyreek Stevenson, I believe is his name, on the other side from Miami, and he was pretty good as well last year too. I assume he would probably progress as well. Yeah, they got them, and Kevin Byard's at safety. What's he going to look like? So they got them. They got a nice.
Yeah, but
team.
He's going to come out with a different vengeance. Fire. I mean, he's playing against his team. He's, there's still love there, but it's like everybody wants to come out and show their old team, that they still have it and all this other stuff. So
I think last thing, two things to end. I'll be curious to see how Latham progresses. He is going to go up against All-Pro Montez Sweat, so he will get tested first game, which is really good for him.
Yeah, we need that early.
He needs the testing early because, it's only going to get worse, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to play a lot better pass rushers than Montez Sweat, and Montez Sweat is really good, so good for him. And then second off, like you said, the energy around this team just feels different. It just seems like, so these players are actually excited to go play. I don't know. You remember you sent that interview of L'Jarius Snead a couple days ago where he's sitting there saying, I want to smoke with everybody. I don't care who it is. Love it. Like, I don't care about Duval. I don't care about who. Give me Diggs. Give me everybody. Anybody you line up against, I'm shutting them down. And we have never had an alpha mentality like that ever under Mike Vrabel. But it's because he suppressed all the energy and all the aggressiveness off the team. And so, I'm really excited to see kind of how much, passion we're going to play with as a team. And there's a difference between good passion and bad passion, right? I know Jeffrey Simmons, I hope, he's a very passionate player. And I know that Snead's a very passionate player. The worst thing that can happen is maybe getting out of control a little bit, maybe trying to get in some scuffles early on, which could be a possibility. But with new coaching and stuff like that, testing the lines a little bit. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think this defense is going to be phenomenal, and they're going to be aggressive, and they're going to headhunt people, and I'm very excited to watch them play.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know that there's really too much to touch on. I mean, it's a little bit harder to talk about where we want to be or what we want, just because there's so many unknowns. Next week's episode is going to be a little bit easier to kind of digest what we saw, hopefully break down a win. So in that sense, it's like at this point, we're kind of just setting expectations of what we want to see. And, hopefully we see a lot of things, and hopefully we see our offense kind of move the ball with the same efficiency that they did in the preseason, or at least showed they could. So, but the biggest thing is just can we do this against starters? Can we come out and really show that we've come together as a team so far and start building some momentum? And, it's a long season, but you got to take every game with a grain of salt, and it's one game at a time. You got to get to the playoffs. That's the ultimate goal. So,
and this is also this isn't a must-win game. If we go in here and we play hard and we're competitive and we still lose, I think that there's still a lot that you can come away with some positives, right? This isn't an all-in for us type season. Right? This isn't a Super Bowl or bust type season for us. This is year 2 under Rand, year 1 under Callahan, like year 1 under Denard Wilson. Like, this isn't a win or nothing for us. Like, this is let's be competitive. Let's show people that we're not just a rollover team. Let's get this culture that Callahan and Wilson and Rand have been trying to build this whole offseason in the works, rolling into next season. So I think that is the main focus. And I think, like, if you have the expectation that the Titans are going to win the Super Bowl, you need to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just not going to happen.
So you got to make the playoffs to make it to the Super Bowl.
Exactly. You make the playoffs, it's an amazing season. Even if we don't make the playoffs, we're super competitive in every game. That is a lot of positive and a lot of bright spots going into next season and next off season. So
I think that's why there's a lot of hope surrounding it too, though. It's just because we didn't have what people believe we have last year, and we still were a couple of plays, a couple of things here and there from like making a playoff. Like we ended up losing more games than we wanted to, but we were competitive in pretty much all of them, and there was just room to grow. And then you take into account we do a complete roster overhaul, and we bring in a new head coach and a new defense coordinator, a new special teams coordinator. It's just like everything's moving in the right direction now. Now it's time to actually build on it and show what we can do in the regular season. So it's going to be really exciting. I think the next thing we wanted to do was move right into our pick 'em. Of course, with hopefully this episode comes out better than we expect, because I know we got a little bit of technical difficulty here. But we're going to be going through each week, kind of going through the games and just predicting who we think is going to win. We're going to try to keep up with our records individually over the season, and then take a look back on it at the end. I've always thought that would be something fun to do. So kind of have a list here. Looks like there's 16 games slated this weekend, as nobody would have a bye.
We're ready.
There's some good games this weekend. I'm excited. And we kick it right off tomorrow night with a rematch of the AFC Championship game. Ravens at Arrowhead to play the Kansas City Chiefs. And Derrick Henry is going to be feasting for some revenge, I can say. He does not like playing the Chiefs. Or he does like playing the Chiefs, I should say. He doesn't like the Chiefs.
He doesn't like them at all.
I'd love for him to come out and feast, personally. But we'll see what happens. So, I mean, Austin, what are you thinking there?
Ravens. It's a tough one. I want to pick Kansas City.
Too. For sure, yeah. I mean, if this is playoffs, I think I go Kansas City hands down.
Easily.
But we all know what Kansas City... Now, I'm not saying they come out like flat, but there's just something about their intention and, I don't know, it's like a flip switch. A switch flips when they get to the playoffs.
Not even the playoffs. In this case, once like game 9 or 10 hits, once game 8, 9 hits, maybe 10, they don't lose. Like, that's the difference. They'll lose like... I think last season they started off like 3-4, and then they end up winning the Super Bowl. Like, this is just what the Chiefs are. They're not regular season warriors, right? They're going to come out here and they're going to lose a couple games early on. That's just how they are. And I think that this is one of those games that the Chiefs lose. I've got the Ravens, and we know how the Ravens are regular season warriors on the flip side of that. Like, we know, like, over the last couple of years, the Ravens are the best team in the regular season out of anybody, and they just kind of fall apart in the playoffs. I mean, I got the Ravens winning. I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a good game, but I think the Ravens are going to win it.
Yeah, it's going to be – I think it will be close. You never know in week 1 if it's going to be more offensive or defensive, because it's like who does the defense or the offense pick up momentum first and kind of carry it. But, yeah, excited, but also like bittersweet feeling to see Derrick play. But, yeah, I think the Ravens actually win this one, and I think it's close. So, it's going to be exciting. It's a great first game to start off our season on Thursday night. So rematch,
like you said, there's a ton of great games.
Exactly. So rematch the AFC Championship could see a rematch like this in the playoffs again. I mean, you just never know. 100%. So kind of setting up the season off right there. So yeah,
this next game too.
We both go. Yeah, next game, Packers at Eagles. This is fascinating to me.
This might be a better game than the Thursday night game.
It might be. And actually, is this a weird
on
Friday night? Yeah, it's a Friday night game.
Yep. Friday night at 7:20 Central Time.
It's an interesting game, and I've gone back and forth. I think I've landed on the Eagles, but I think it's because it's at home. I think if this is at Lambeau, I'd flip it over probably. But I do think it's probably going to be close, and could definitely see the Packers pulling this out. I mean, if Jordan Love from the playoffs comes out, I mean, we're going to have a game. Now, here's the deal: if the Eagles from the end of the year come out. It might not be that much of a. I mean, let's be honest here. The Eagles struggled.
They did. They were bad the last.
They got to figure some stuff out. And so
they got their offense. They got a new offensive coordinator, and I feel like that was a lot of the issues last season. Was they were running just not great plays. So maybe that helps.
So who are you going with there?
I think like you said, I think I'm a tail. I think just because it's in Philly, and I think like star power wise, I think the Eagles are just.
Yeah,
they just got more star power. That's just what it comes down to. I mean, that offense is going to be very hard to stop, and it's
I know it's week one. Defense really being able to hold up. Unless Philly's offense just comes out and looks like they're not really in sync, But yeah, I definitely see Philly having the advantage there.
And at home,
looking forward to another great game. Yeah, at home. It's tough to play in Philly. They may have struggled last year, but it's tough to go into Philly and get a win.
Yep.
Okay, so we move on. And, this is one of those things throughout the season where we're going to try to be as unbiased as possible. But we have Titans going to Chicago. We just talked about it for a good bit, and it's exciting. I think this honestly is less biased than it probably normally would be, but I really think we go in there and pull it out. I do. I think our defense is ready. I think our offense is ready. Not saying we won't come out and maybe take a few minutes or a few drives to settle in, but I just think we're in a better place right now than they are. There's a lot of new pieces for them. They have a brand new quarterback who hasn't ever seen any NFL play outside of the preseason in practice. So it's just like, I think we have a little bit of the upper hand, even though it is at Soldier Field. So I'm going to say Titans here, and I'm pretty confident about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm confident. I mean, like you said, this is going to be a back and forth game. I mean, I think it's going to be. It could go either way, right? I mean, for sure. Right now, the spread's 3.5. In my opinion, it's going to be a field goal type game. So I agree with that. But I think the Titans pull it out. I think the Titans, we've got a little bit more veteranness, I guess. I would say, especially at the quarterback position, with it being Will Levis' second season. So I think he's going to be a little bit further ahead of Caleb Williams than people are giving him credit for. And I think that Will Levis goes in here and wins this game. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Titans pull it out.
Yep, I'd love to see that. I would love to see us just protect the ball. Protect the ball. Let's win the turnover battle.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, this goes back to this is why we can be glad that Will Levis, we weren't necessarily wanting Levis to have to be thrust into the starting position last year. But the fact that he has, I think, set him up very well for this season. He's already kind of got that. There's not
the jitters are out.
Exactly. Right. There's not going to be as much, it's going to be like pregame jitters. Everybody gets those. But once he's in it, it's not going to be a problem. And I think hopefully we'll just kick it off and just be rolling immediately. So seems like so far we're pretty much on the same page.
Yeah,
maybe we'll
3 for 3 on the same
here in a second. But
I think this next game is going to be the same.
This next game is probably one of the more skewed betting lines this weekend, if I had to guess. But you have Patriots at Bengals, and listen, this is a Bengals win, even if it's in New England. But this is at Cincy. I just don't see. I mean, do we even know who's starting at quarterback for the Patriots? Is it going to be May?
Brissett. I think Brissett's starting.
Okay, Brissett. Yeah, that's right. It's going to be Brissett. And shout out Joe Milton. I think he made the team. Is that right?
He did. Joe Milton's
on
the team.
Made the 53. He can still throw it a mile and a half, but he can't check it down. So no, he's fun to watch. But it's going to be interesting. I'd like it to be a close game. I'd like every game to be a close game. But I just don't see a way that the Bengals lose this, especially with Burrow and Chase being back and everything. So
Bengals are winning this game. I mean, it just feels like Bengals are winning this game. It's in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow's healthy. Jamar Chase is back on the field today. He's playing. T. Higgins is back.
Hype,
he's healthy.
Is back.
Everything. Zach Moss is there. They are just the Bengals. If everyone is healthy, are a contender. So and they have been for the last couple of years. So I mean, this is. I don't want to say it's going to be a blowout because, like you said, I want it to be a close game. But I just don't think the Patriots have the star power to compete with this team.
They don't. They don't have what it takes to keep up with contenders right now. I don't think. And you never know. Any given Sunday on an NFL weekend, you don't know. But it's just what it kind of feels like right now. So that takes us into Arizona going to Buffalo, and this is really interesting because I don't know what to expect from Buffalo. Now I know it's hard to play in Buffalo, so there's that. The edge probably leans toward them, but. You're going into a season where you don't even know who Josh Allen's number one receiver is.
A rookie, Keon Coleman.
On paper, it's probably Keon Coleman. Now, does he come out and show that? Who knows? I I'm trying to think. Who are the Cardinals' corners? I mean, does he have any favorable matchups?
Nobody that I can think of.
So Keon could come out and have a good first game. We just don't know.
I think offensively, the Cardinals aren't bad. You got Kyler Murray, you got Marvin Harrison Jr., you got Trey McBride, you got some weapons. You got James Conner in the backfield. I just think defensively, I know they drafted Darius Robinson, edge rusher from Missouri, in the first round of this draft.
He's a beast. Yeah,
I just don't think they have a lot of other playmakers on the field that are going to be able to stop Josh Allen. Truth be told, so I think I'm picking Bills here. I think I hate to keep picking the favorite, except for the Titans game. I think the Bills are going to win this game. I just do.
Yep, I'm actually going to flip it over and disagree with you on this one. And really, the main thing is just because, look, I like Josh Allen. I like him a lot. He's fun to watch. He's one of the faces of the NFL right now, and listen, I personally think you can't stop him unless he stops himself.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes he tends to get over aggressive. He throws picks. He forces stuff. And my question is, what is he going to do when they're struggling to move the ball? And he doesn't have Stephon Diggs. And, I could see a little bit of that and maybe some turnover issues. So I'm going to go with an upset here and go with Arizona. But I do very much think that, Buffalo's probably favored. And, it's going to be interesting. But I think, maybe Kyler comes out and it's just coming out on fire, and Josh turns the ball over a couple times, so I'm going to go Arizona on it just to kind of throw an upset in there, but it'll be interesting.
I think if the Cardinals defense was any better, I think that would be a little bit harder of a decision. I just don't think they have a good defense in the slightest. You got some young guys out there. I think this is a James Cook special, right?
Yeah.
I think James Cook is going to run all over this defense. I mean, truth be told, I don't know if they really have anybody that's going to be able to stop the Bills from running the ball. So I think the Bills are going to win for sure.
And just to that point, we can move on. But I did want to say I think they need to, and they understand this, but they need to use James Cook more. You got to find a way to help Josh Allen out. Like, we all know he's going to run the ball and he's going to throw the ball, but you got to give Josh some help outside of just dropping back every play and making something happen.
Yeah.
So
James Cook is good. Dude.
He's very good.
Good player.
Like, just give him an opportunity, and I think their offense can click a lot better than it has. And then you're giving one of the top, 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks in the league more chances to operate because they have to fear the run game too.
Yep.
So. Going to be interesting. So you said you went Bills on that?
Yeah, I'm going Bills on that one.
Yeah. So the next one is interesting. It's one of the more interesting games, and it's an in-division rival game. Going to be nice to see. Honestly, I don't care. I hate the Colts, but honestly, any loss that the Texans have is going to be a good one. So I'd like to see the Colts win. I don't even remember what we said in our predictions early on. The only reason I think this could be closer than we think is just because in Indy. But I think the Texans pull this one out. I really do. I just think they're better right now. We don't know what we're going to get from AR-15.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what you're going to get from Stroud. He's got his receivers back. Their defense is beefed up more. It's just like, I just don't see a world where the Texans lose this one.
I'm going to have to disagree. I'm going with our original prediction from the first episode we did, and I'm gonna pick the Colts. It's in Indy, right? First game jitters are a real thing, right? I think C.J. Stroud's a fantastic quarterback. I think that offense is going to have some time to get used to each other. You added in Stephon Diggs. You added in Joe Mixon, right? I think it's just going to take a little bit of time for them to get comfortable with each other being all on the same offense.
Yeah.
And on the flip side of that, the Colts are a veteran-led team, right? They're a team that has played with each other. They're a team that has – and they were a good team last year. And they were a great team until AR-15 got hurt. This is a veteran team that's had multiple years playing with each other, and literally no roster turnover whatsoever. They've only added talent. I think the Colts win this game.
Yeah, I like it. I really do. I think one in division games are always hard because it's like one team's probably better than the other.
Yep.
But when you're playing a division opponent, it's different. It's more physical. There's more on the line. Like, you only get 6 of these a year, and you got to make them all count. So it's just they really could go either way almost every time. So that takes us right into another division opponent of ours, but Jaguars will be going to Miami to play the Dolphins. So they stay in the home state there. This is probably going to be a warm game, if I had to guess. 2 Florida teams should be used to it. Look, anybody that watches or listens to our show, we don't rock with the Jaguars.
No.
I'm not saying they can't win this game. I don't see it happening, though. I think the Dolphins come out hot, personally. I think the Jaguars don't really have anybody that's going to be able to shut down Tyreek. And Trevor probably turns the ball over. Like maybe that's just the bias coming out in me. Occasionally there's going to be some biased picks, and that's just where I'm at. I don't see the Jags winning this game, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the case. Jacksonville's a first half team, right? They are known to start off 8-0 and then finish the season 9-8. That's just what they do. They are a first half of the season team. I just don't think they win this game though. In Miami, who's guarding Tyreek? Who's guarding Jalen Waddle? Like who's like what defense are we playing? Right?
Yeah.
You got a lot of question marks in the receiver room now. Gabe Davis, a rookie Brian Thomas, Christian Kirk being kind of your leader in that room. Evan Ingram. Trevor Lawrence is Trevor Lawrence. So I don't know. I'm picking the Dolphins.
Yeah, I like it. I'm pretty sure Drew's going to be in agreement on that one too. So,
yep.
So this one is also gonna kind of take my list. This next one for another very, very intriguing game this weekend, because we really don't know what we're going to see from either side. And we got Steelers going to Atlanta to play the Falcons. This is I think it's going to be a good game. We have two new starting quarterbacks that are both very good and very experienced, with Russell Wilson going against Kirk Cousins. Man, this is the fan in me. I really like Kirk Cousins. I always have. I think he's a stud, and I hope that he can stay healthy this season. But he's got some new pieces to work with, and so does Russell Wilson. So honestly, it's more of like, who has the better defense? I think the better defense probably wins this game. Mm-hmm. Now, if the Falcons don't have somebody to block T.J. Watt, it's going to be a problem. I hate to say it, but you got to watch out for Kirk, especially with number 90 on the other side. So, I don't know. Where are you at? I'm really on the fence with this one.
I think I'm going to choose the Falcons. Yeah. And it's taken a lot in me, but I just don't. I need to see something from Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Because he is the starter. I think if Justin Fields was the starter right now, this may be a little bit different of a pick for me personally, because I think Justin Fields has way more upside than Russell Wilson
at this point. Yeah, for sure.
At this point, and this Arthur Smith type of offense, I just think that when it comes down to it, it's in Atlanta, and there's so many question marks around the quarterback position for the Steelers. Okay, you got George Pickens at wide receiver, but you don't really got anybody else, right? You trade away Deontay Johnson, right? You got Pat Freiermuth at tight end. I mean, okay, whatever. Najee Harris and Warren's a nice little running back duo. They're okay. Sure. Offensive line's okay, right? Defensively, they're great. Minka, TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, like they're stacked. Patrick Queen, like that alone is just a star-studded defense. I just don't think they have I think, like you said, it's going to be a defensive game, and I think it's going to be a defensive game. But the offense that scores probably the one and only touchdown, maybe 2 touchdowns, wins this game. And I think the Falcons have a better chance of putting some sort of points on the board than the Steelers do.
Yeah, I agree. I think I am going to lean towards Falcons. It is in Atlanta, but I like Arthur Smith. We know what he's been able to do with offenses. But the other thing is, like, I just don't trust the Steelers' offense right now. Like, they're going to have to prove something for people to start kind of believing in them. And that's really about all of my explanation. Like, I just don't have anything else. Like, I just don't think their offense can keep up as long as the Falcons put some points on the board. So, okay. So we got Panthers and Saints. It is in New Orleans, which is not the easiest place to play. However, I don't know that New Orleans. It's another interesting one because it's like, where are the Panthers at?
Where's Bryce Young?
Where's Bryce Young? No, they got some more receiving depth. Are they the ones that got Deontay?
Yeah, they got Deontay Johnson, and they drafted Leggett.
Yes, Leggett, who I think personally is going to be really good. Yeah. Hard to say if he's going to be like a number 1, but yeah, Deontay. I think they still got Thielen, so there's some veteran presence there. Yeah, man, the Panthers might be the most like question mark of a team right now. It's kind of like, yeah, we know they were pretty bad last year, but Bryce Young had no O-line help. Like, look, you can't sit here and say that Bryce Young is not talented. We saw it at Alabama. You're not going to convince me that he thinks he's too small or that it's just not true. Like, he played in the SEC. He's shown everybody what he can do. Now, what happens when he has a little bit more help? But I don't know if it's enough help to really put them much further than they were last year, personally. So I think this being in New Orleans, I think I'm leaning New Orleans. I mean, Derek Carr's got better experience. It's just
not that Derek Carr's a better player by any means.
No.
I think he's got better weapons around him right now with Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave. Like, I just think he's got a little bit better of an offense there. And we know how good the Saints defense has always been good.
Always.
Right? Yeah. They're always good. The only question is, can their offense score points? Right? I mean, so I just think the Saints win this game.
Yeah, and then my confidence goes, well, I think they're definitely probably going to score more points than the Panthers. So that's what you need to win. You know, that's a Booger McFarland quote right there, but that's just how it is. So, you know, I'm going to go Saints there too.
This next game's hard. This next game is tough.
It's tough. Like, it actually is tough, but like, it's only tough because, like, honestly, I promise you right now, if J.J. McCarthy was starting, it's not tough.
Vikings. Yeah, no, if the quarterback situation was not so bad in Minnesota, also by the game we're talking about is the Vikings versus the Giants, right? Talk about a terrible game to watch. Thank goodness they didn't make that a primetime game. But, like, that is such a hard game to pick because the Vikings, who's playing quarterback, right? Who's playing quarterback? T.J. Hawkinson's not playing, so you got Jefferson and you got Addison. Well, actually, Addison, I don't know if he's playing or not. And then you got Aaron Jones, because he might be suspended or something. Aaron Jones is back there playing first game at Minnesota. That would be interesting. But, like, defensively, they're not that great, right? Danielle Hunter's gone. That's been their leading sack guy for, like, the past, feels like, eternity. But
who is their starting quarterback?
It's Sam Darnold, right?
Sam
Darnold's getting the start.
Like, bro.
Yeah. I got the Giants winning this game, and I hate to pick the Giants.
I don't
want to put my faith in Daniel Jones at
Daniel
all.
doesn't, baby.
He doesn't. He doesn't do anything. But I just think the Giants win this game. Look, here's the thing. I don't know, and the Vikings might be better than we're expecting. I mean, you do got Justin Jefferson, but I just don't know if Justin Jefferson's going to be able to.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to get all the defensive attention. I don't know that the Giants are necessarily worried about Sam Darnold.
I'm not.
I just don't like Daniel Jones. I think I'm going to go Vikings just because. Like, I don't like Daniel Jones. I don't think.
I don't blame you. Like this is such a hard game to pick.
It is.
Neither team is good.
Easy.
Like, neither team has anything good really going on for them this season.
But then I'm looking at, like, who could potentially run the ball better or have a better offensive game plan. I think it could be, Sam Darnold's got a little bit of experience, and, like, I like Aaron Jones. I think you gotta get Aaron Jones involved. If you get Aaron Jones and Justin Jefferson involved, I think you got a good shot. I mean, there's nobody on the offense of the Giants that I'm like, gotta watch out for him. I mean, maybe Neighbors, but heck, you gotta get him the ball first.
Neighbors, Devin Singletary, Jalen Hyatt's there.
Isn't that pretty scary? That honestly, their craziest weapon right now is a rookie.
Yeah, I mean, he's not just a rookie. He is, like, insanely talented.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, I have no doubt about it that he's going to be good. But it's like, boy, I wonder if he is actually all the way happy getting drafted to New York.
Definitely not. Probably not.
So, yeah, I'm going to go Vikings. But like you said, you're going Giants. I really think it's a coin toss. This is going to be one of those weird games.
It's going to be a terrible game. I'm not watching it.
The guy doing the coin toss at the beginning of the game might as well be deciding the game. That's how close it's going to be. So, okay. Broncos at Seahawks. Now, this one, I know where I'm going, and I don't know why, but I'm just going there. Actually, I do know why. I like Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is going to be good. I just have a feeling. Now, I could be completely wrong, but I also just think for some reason, they may not even be better. I think the Broncos win this game. I don't know why, but I'm going Broncos.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree there.
I'm not surprised.
I'll just stick with the Seahawks. I think Bo Nix is pretty decent. I think Cortland Sutton's, like, really underrated. Pat Surtain just got paid. He's about the only bright spot on that defense.
For sure. I mean, they're not going to throw the ball at him. That's just what happens.
Seahawks, I think, just have too many offensive weapons. And this game is going to come down to, is Geno Smith going to be Geno Smith, like, of new or old? So
yeah, which Geno Smith are we getting? I mean, he's shown he can be really good. So
I think Seahawks win this game.
I like it. All right, Raiders at Chargers, another divisional matchup here. For week one. I think the biggest question mark here is, what's the quarterback going to look like for the Raiders?
Minshew, baby. Minshew mania.
Dude, honestly, if it's
Give me the Raiders.
Give me the Raiders. I like their defense.
I like the Raiders.
You got Devontae. You got I'm really excited to see hopefully Michael Mayer get involved in the offense more. You got
Brock
Bowers. Bro, this could get really interesting. I mean, if we're talking about the Raiders having a consistent quarterback, Zamir White, who knows? Like the Raiders' offense could be a lot better than what we've seen before.
We know their defense is going to be better. I mean, you've got Max Crosby and
Max Crosby's
Christian Wilkins.
A freaking problem for anybody. Yeah.
Now you had Christian Wilkins.
Christian Wilkins. I forgot about that.
Yeah, like I'm picking the Raiders. I think the Raiders win this game, and I think it's a close game. I don't know if Justin Herbert's even playing, right? Because he's had that hand injury, so I think he's questionable. So, I mean, if he's not playing, it's a definite L for them. But I'm picking Raiders
for sure. I don't even know who his backup is. Herbert.
There's no telling.
I couldn't tell you. Yeah. So Raiders, Cowboys at Browns.
I'm riding with my boy Dak Prescott. I can't let you.
I gotta say, I'm in the same boat. Like, look, I ain't putting no money on Deshaun Watson. Absolutely none. Zero.
Look, my sleeper pick, not my sleeper pick. My QB1 that I said who was going to be QB1 this season was Dak Prescott, and I'm going to ride with it. All right, I'm going to show my loyalty to him and CeeDee Lamb, and I think they're going to win this game. I think Denzel Ward I don't think Denzel Ward's playing. So
I don't think it matters.
Who's guarding CeeDee Lamb?
I think CeeDee's top 3. You know.
Yeah, I mean, who's guarding CeeDee, right? So I think Cowboys win this game.
And I think, oddly enough, CeeDee's actually underrated.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, no, but I'm saying like around the league,
Lamb?
like yes,
he's the best receiver in the league. I don't think he's underrated. Him and Justin Jefferson are like 1A, 1B.
They've
with Tyreek Hill.
But honestly, you don't hear people talk about him like that. Like you always hear Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill. Like, but CeeDee's kind of left out on a limb, and I'm like, wow, dude's a beast. Like,
I think Jefferson, Hill, and CeeDee Lamb, in any order, are your top 3 receivers in the league.
You can't go wrong with any of those guys are a 1. So yeah, we'll see. But I mean, CeeDe's like the top guy off of everybody's fantasy list right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's him.
Dak and him just have a rapport, and also like CeeDee just gets open, bro.
He's a
Waffle House baby.
He is.
Always open.
He really is.
So,
this next game.
Talk about a barn burner. I mean, the next game. This might be one of the worst games on the list this weekend.
Give me the Bucks.
But we do get to see Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Go off against Baker Mayfield, and honestly, people need to stop sleeping on Baker Mayfield because he finds a way to win games.
Yeah, he is. Look, he is. If there is anybody that was given just the worst dealt hand coming into the league, it was Baker Mayfield. Are you kidding me? He came into the league with who even knows was his wide receiver 1. What, 50-year-old Jarvis Landry and washed Odell, right? I mean, come on now, like seriously. And then whenever he leaves, like, oh goodness, Buccaneers are like Baker Mayfield's winning this game, but I think the Bucs win this game.
I completely agree, and I want to see some stuff. I want to see some flashes from Jaden Daniels. But yeah, rookie quarterback Baker Mayfield. It's at the Bucs. Like I like the Bucs in this game, and the Bucs always have a sound defense too. So those linebackers they got over there are nasty.
They are nasty. Well, Devin White's gone now. He's in Philly, but Levante David is still there.
You still got David and Devin White. Losing him is gonna stink. But that's just what it is. I think the Bucs win that game. Maybe by a couple scores, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, the spread's only 3.5, and I could see this very much being like a 14-point game.
Yeah. So no, the last 2 games might be some of my favorite games on the list, if I'm being honest. Rams, Lions, and look, this may be a hot take. I'm going Rams. I think they get a little bit of revenge from the playoffs last year. I think Cooper Kupp could potentially have another revenge season. Cooper Kupp, he's good, period. And then you got Puka, who, what's he going to look like year 2 after doing what he did last year? And the Lions have before been somebody that has started slow and they kind of needed to pick up some steam. So, now look, the Lions are probably the better team, just off paper. On paper, right off the rip. But I'm going Rams here.
Let me tell you something. I am one of the biggest Jared Goff haters in the world, right? Like, and not even a hater. I'm not even a hater, okay? Hater's not the right word. I just have, like, it's the inconsistencies for me at quarterback.
I get that.
Right? He's super inconsistent. But let me tell you something right now. I'm picking the Lions to win this game, right? It's in Detroit, but let me tell you something. Jahmyr Gibbs is a problem.
Don't even get me started.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is a problem. Sam Laporta is a problem. The Lions really buffed up their defense this offseason, too, drafting Terrion Arnold, corner from Alabama, who was arguably the best corner in the draft. And then they also drafted the corner from Missouri too. So like they really, really buffed up their secondary this offseason. It's hard for me to like not like the Lions just because I like some of their players. And I mean,
you give me Dan Campbell as a head coach, I'll run through a brick wall for him. He doesn't even coach the Titans.
And I'm gonna be honest, I really think the Lions are the team coming out of the NFC this year. If Jared Goff is if Jared Goff
it's
can
them
slim
in San
down,
Francisco for me.
Yeah, if Jared Goff can slim down on the inconsistency, I think this is the best team in the NFC.
Yeah,
and that's just me being honest. And
yeah,
I think I got the Lions winning this game.
I agree. And I like the Lions. Part of my bias is leaning towards the Rams just because I'm such a huge Cooper Kupp fan, and I want to see him do well coming off his injury again.
I agree.
But yeah, I really think this is going to be one of those games. You know, it's like big playoff rematch. Everybody anticipated the first matchup between Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford, the straight up trade for them two, and Jared Goff got all the praise. Matthew Stafford's a stud though.
Matthew Stafford is a stud.
We'll see what happens. It's an intriguing game. I'm kind of glad we're on different sides of the fence.
No Aaron Donald. If Aaron Donald was playing,
I
feel like I would maybe be willing to change up a little bit. But I think when you lose arguably the best defensive player in this basically decade, I'm gonna pick the Lions. I like the Lions here.
Yep, I like it. Which brings us to our Monday Night Football. A year later. From the game that Aaron Rodgers tears his Achilles, after running out of the tunnel with the American flag a couple days before 9/11, and it's going to be the same exact scenario, but they're in San Francisco, and it's Jets 49ers. I think this is going to be a good game, given that Rodgers stays on the field.
Yeah, it's a defense. It's going to be a defensive game.
I agree, but boy, let me tell you, am I excited to watch Aaron Rodgers sling the ball again? You know. It's been 2 years basically because he threw maybe like one pass. I mean, the dude went down so fast. There's all these memes about it, but it would be cool to see him come out and just sling it around a little bit. A big part of me wants to pick Jets, but I don't think it's realistic. I just think the 49ers are that good. I really do. I mean, I really think you could be looking at them being in the NFC Championship again. Given that they stay healthy. Also, huge George Kittle fan, huge Brock Purdy fan. So they're fun to watch. And Christian McCaffrey's always a problem. And you're not even thinking about Debo yet. So it's like they just have so many weapons up and down their offense and defense. And they're well coached. I'd like to see Aaron do well, but yeah, I think I'm going to go 49ers in week 1.
Give me the Jets.
I love it.
Give me the Jets. Look, let me tell you something. You got the best corner in the league. You got the best corner in the league on this team. All right. Look, Brandon Ayuk just signed that massive contract to get boxed week 1. Okay? Straight up. I mean, if Sauce Gardner is on Brandon Ayuk all game, that boy is not getting a target. Okay, first off. Second off, Christian McCaffrey's coming off an injury. All right? He's not fully healthy. He's not 100%. And let me tell you, Quentin Williams is in that middle. And that's a big boy. And that's one of the best defensive tackles in the league.
Absolute beast.
Right? If Reddick's playing, right, which we don't really know. He's a veteran edge rusher. He's there to make some plays. The Jets let's be honest here. The Jets have the best defense in the league. Brock Purdy statistically struggles against some of the best defenses in the league. Look what happened to the Ravens last year when he played them. Threw through like 4 interceptions. The Jets are going to blitz him all night long. And here's what happens when you blitz all night long. Corners have one-on-one matchups. And I like the one-on-one matchups with DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner against Ayuk and Debo all day long. Sauce Gardner is going to have them wanting to quit the game by halftime. They're not even going to walk out in the third quarter. They're going to be so pissed they're not getting open. I'm picking the Jets here. I think it's a defensive game. I think that Breece Hall's a monster. I think that the 49ers are going to be a really good football team. But offensively, I think they're going to struggle this game. I think the Jets' defense is just too good. They're going to overpower them, just like the Ravens' defense did last year.
Yep.
And let's be honest here. The 49ers' defense, man, what's Dre Greenlaw going to look like post Achilles injury? That I don't even think he's playing. He just tore his Achilles like 5 months ago in the Super Bowl. Okay? Let's be honest here. The 49ers' defense is not the defense that we are used to the 49ers having. Right? They've lost a lot of talent on that defensive side of the ball. Breece Hall's a monster. Garrett Wilson's a monster. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. Mike Williams. Is Mike Williams going to come back and be anything? Who knows? Alan Lazard. bum. But you know what? He's on the field. Okay. The Jets' offensive line probably improved. I'm going Jets. I think the Jets won the game. Their defense is too good.
It's a great point. And they do. They probably have the best defense in the league. And honestly, I don't know an offense that has had success against the Jets really since this defense has been. They just don't. I mean, a couple years ago, I don't remember if we lost or won, but it was close. We played, and Zach Wilson started. And we either lost or almost lost because their defense is just game-wrecking, bro.
I'm pretty sure we lost, and I don't think
I want to say we did too. I think we lost in overtime.
Yeah, you just can't get yards on this.
You can't. You cannot sustain any momentum.
You can't throw the ball. You have to beat this team on the ground, and you just have to have one of the best offensive lines in the league to run the ball against this defensive line. Because you got to
push Quinnen around.
Yeah, you got to push Quinnen around. Like, you know, I mean, I guess Lawson's gone, whatever. Mm-hmm. If Reddick plays, it's hard, right? And they also got Quincy Williams at linebacker. Like, they just got some dogs all on this team on defense. So, like, if they can stay healthy, I just don't see the 49ers having a lot of offensive success, even with how stacked their offense is. And that's crazy to think.
Yep. Yeah, well, that's all the games. You know, I feel like we agreed on most of them, but there were a few that we were on different sides. So I'm glad, just because it'll be more fun that way, just to see how it turns out. I do want to ask, just kind of as we're wrapping up here, of all the 16 games we have this weekend, starting with tomorrow night, which one are you most excited for?
And I'm gonna be honest.
Aside from ours, I think it's easy to say ours.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say ours. I think the game I'm most excited for, and this might be a shocker, but I mean I love this team. I love watching this team. I love watching this team play. I love their coach. I love a lot of the players they got, and it's the Lions-Rams game. I think it's gonna be a good game. I like the Lions, and I just think that'll be the game that I want to watch the most out of all of them, outside of the Titans. So yeah, I think that's going to be the return to football, is watching Dan Campbell on the sideline yelling and watching Jahmyr Gibbs scoring touchdowns. I'm ready for it. I'm here for it.
I'm a huge Jahmyr Gibbs fan. Yeah. I mean, we were doing our fantasy one podcast a few weeks ago, and that's the one that I was like, dude, this could be your running back one. I mean, he can score in so many ways. Get him in space, he's electric. He's still able to run between the tackles. Like, the dude is ridiculous. And I thought that when he was at Alabama. So
I had to watch him score 4 touchdowns against us, and we somehow beat that game. Yeah, we somehow won that game, and we couldn't stop Jahmyr Gibbs.
I've ever seen.
Yeah, that truly was. We couldn't stop Jahmyr Gibbs to save our life. I mean, that dude ran all.
Not many people can.
Yeah, not many people can. But that dude's special. He's a special type of running back.
I think for me, there's a couple of personal reasons that I want to go with this game. But it's also the first game of the year, and I think I'm going Ravens-Chiefs. I just think rematch of the AFC Championship. I think the Ravens are going to come out mad. You know, it's their time to get revenge. I think, boy, would I love to see Derrick Henry just run over their defense. And I'm a big Kyle Hamilton guy, so I would love to see Kyle Hamilton pick off Pat Mahomes. Does it happen? I don't know. The Chiefs are good. We all know that. The Chiefs are the standard for the NFL right now. They've won 2 out of the last. They've won back-to-back, but they've won, 3 out of the last, 5 Super Bowls. They're just what you want to be right now. And honestly, I don't see any signs of them slowing down. Like, you have the best player in the world on, a 78-year contract, making $300 gazillion, and he's not going anywhere.
Every penny.
He does. He absolutely does. And he's on his way up to being
the GOAT. If he stays at this rate,
I can't believe I almost said that.
Yeah, if he stays on this pace, though, he.
But let's be honest here. Yes, he wants Super Bowls, but let me tell you, he doesn't want Super Bowls because he wants to beat the team in the Super Bowl. He wants Super Bowls because he wants more than Tom Brady. I can tell you that right now. Bro might pull Tom Brady out of retirement at 60 just so Brady can have more than him.
I mean, up until this point in his career, Pat Mahomes has him beat in every stat. So yards, touchdowns, better interception ratio. He's got him beat.
How many times has Pat been to the Super Bowl? Is it 4 or 5?
So he's won 3. And
he lost against Brady.
Yes, I think he's been there 4 times or 5.
Bro, he's freaking 3-1 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And he's
been a starter for I think 6 years.
Yeah.
And they have hosted the AFC Championship every single year that he has been a starter. Give me a freaking break.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. He's 27, about to be 28 years old. And you look at Tom Brady, it's the greatest quarterback of all time. And Pat Mahomes, to this point in his career, has him beat in every single statistical category.
And he's not even 30.
I know, and it's just unbelievable.
Tom Brady played until he was almost 45.
Also, much worse teams than Tom Brady had, right? I mean, let's be honest here. This team that the Chiefs just won with last year, it's probably the worst team that has won a Super Bowl in quite a few years.
On offense.
Yeah, offense.
Their defense
defensively, they were stacked. Defense, they were stacked. But offensively, they were just horrible, man. They were horrible. Yeah, shout out to Snead. Offensively, they were horrible. So, yeah. I get the excitement there, Go.
Yeah, so it's gonna be like, and I'd actually just kind of before we wrap up here, like, and this is for other Titans fans, are you pulling for Derek tomorrow? I mean, I feel like if you're like people say, if you're a real Titans fan, you're not, just because of the rivalry we have with Baltimore. And look, I get it, but he hasn't even played a snap for Baltimore yet. This isn't about that. Like, that's just me. Like, that's my opinion. It's okay if you disagree with that. But, like, I'm not getting rid of this. I'm probably going to hang this jersey. Like, he helped turn the Titans organization back around. He had been nothing since we had Eddie George, basically.
He's the best running back in our history.
So. He is. It's not even close. Like, yeah, Eddie's a great running back. Earl Campbell was a great running back. We didn't get to see him live, but Derrick Henry changed how people thought about running backs. And he still feels like he can do it at a high level, and I do too. Now, maybe he's not going to rip off 2,000, maybe not. But he probably would have had back-to-back 2,000-yard seasons had he not gotten injured in Indianapolis.
100%.
He was on a crazy pace.
Yeah.
And just that run that he carried us through in the playoffs to get to the AFC Championship, that, let me just say this, because I've said it again. I've said it time and time again. I think if we win that AFC Championship, we beat the 49ers. In that season. I agree. Because I think the 49ers have gotten better since then, but I think that was like their first time in this span of going, and I think we beat them. I just do. That team.
We were unstoppable. We were unstoppable that year.
We were unstoppable until Patrick Mahomes ran in that stupid touchdown.
Yeah. We don't need to.
And he almost fumbled at the goal line. We can say all we want about the missed tackles. He still almost fumbled at the goal line, and he didn't. And that was just the end of the game, and everybody knew it. Yep. So, yeah. I mean, that's kind of where we're at. Hopefully Drew will be able to get in here and hopefully shut this down here in a second. But, yeah, first weekend, regular season football starts tomorrow. We got a game Friday, and then the Titans play Sunday. Midday game. I got some more good college games coming up Saturday, so it's we're full fledged. We are full fledged into football season. It feels so good to be back, dude.
Yeah, I mean, down in the comments below, let us know what game you're looking forward to the most, right? If you're a Titans fan, let us know how excited you are for the Titans. If you're not, let us know what game you're most excited to see this week and this weekend, and let us know if you thought some of our picks were wrong and which ones you thought were right. And always show support to the channel. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment. As always, much appreciated. And again, if you have anything you want us to talk about, we are open arms and always willing to talk about pretty much anything. So we do appreciate all the support. So thank you very much on that.
Absolutely. I think the only thing I'd add on to that is just, like you said, keep sharing it. Tell us what you want to hear. We're just going to keep giving you our feedback because it's not about us being analysts. It's about us being fans, and we've been diehard fans forever, and we just like talking ball. So, going to keep doing this. Hopefully our predictions go well. We'll find out next week. And aside from that, as always, it is tighten up.